Hey everyone, this one's going out to all the gents out there, and it's regarding emotional healing or lack of, where it is concerned to us. As men, we love to avoid our emotions, and I feel it's really time now for us to acknowledge that we do need to work on our emotions, because it holds us back in life, it holds us back in our relationships, and ultimately it's not getting us anywhere. And not only that, we're not truly being authentic if we're operating from our shadow aspects. Because if you think about shadow aspects, they're shadows, they're not really you, they're aspects of yourself that your inner child or your child created to be able to deal with this world. So we're kind of masquerading as ourselves. We're all wearing these masks, so to speak. Some of us more than others, and it's not intentional. A lot of the time it's subconscious, and what's happening is it's suppressing pain, it's suppressing anger, which manifests in our lives in different ways. Now this goes for women and men, but particularly directing at men, because there's a stat out there, and yeah, women are twice as likely to do the emotional work as men. So that's why, as a man, and having gone through coming up to 2 years of quite intense emotional work, I really felt like I wanted to do this video to encourage us guys to get on board with this idea, because it's really personally really improved my life, far less triggered, improved my relationships. I'm a lot more calmer, and I'm not as angry at the world as I used to be. So it really is a message to the men out there to at least consider doing the work, because ultimately you're going to benefit from it. So in general, men are it's like social conditioning, isn't it? We grow up as men like to suppress. We've got to put on this front. We're not allowed to cry. We're not allowed to show our emotions. And it's kind of seen like a negative in society for a man to do that. It's almost like if a man does that, then he's weak, which is absolute bullshit when you think about it, because someone who can face their shadow is a lot braver than someone that just papers over the cracks. So that whole ideology is bullshit anyway. So this whole idea of macho and being macho and suppressing and covering things up needs to go. It needs to go in our own minds individually, and it needs to go in the collective mindset. Okay? So, yeah, this idea of macho, being strong, conditioning. Men would rather try and fix things first, and rather than deal with any sort of deep, intense stuff. So, for example, if you've got a relationship and you're going through problems, you might try and overcome them by, I don't know, like material things, or outside things that are not maybe the cause of the problems which are within you. So for example, if you're projecting like abandonment wounds or betrayal wounds from childhood onto your partner, whether that be through jealousy or however that manifests, instead of like maybe buying your partner more stuff or taking them out or dating them more, which is all good, I'm not saying that's not good, but what you're doing there is you're not getting to the crux of what's causing that jealousy and making you act in a certain way towards your partners, hence never getting to the bottom of the problem or the root cause. So yeah, as men we tend to suppress and try and fix things. We're fixers, aren't we? The other thing that we do is we will maybe look to addictions more. Men typically will drink a lot more alcohol. I know people that I know that are suppressing stuff that are heavy drinkers, and again, all it's doing is papering over the cracks. It's not getting us anywhere. It might make us temporarily feel good, maybe whether that's drugs or weed or alcohol, like I say, it doesn't really matter, but that is not going to solve your problems. It might make you feel a bit better temporarily, like I say, but so yeah, so we have all these different ways that I would call them coping mechanisms rather than anything else, and they're not even really coping mechanisms, because what happens, you know, imagine your internal emotions and stuff is like a volcano, right? It's like simmering, it's simmering, it's simmering, and as you go through life you get more triggers, and of course you're attracting people in that are, you know, reflect your emotional wounds. So you're constantly getting triggered, blah blah blah, and then, you know, it gets to the point where it's almost like it becomes you. And I know from myself, like carrying quite a bit of anger from my childhood previously, that, you know, it kind of reflects in your everyday actions and the way you interact with the world. And you know what, like as men, we deserve to be happy, we deserve to heal, and we deserve to be our authentic masculine core. And I think this whole macho stuff is like bullshit, fake masculine. I don't think it's anything to do with real masculinity. I think facing the shadows, facing the dark soul of the night, so to speak, I think once you go through that, and it's an ongoing process, it's not an overnight thing. I think once you go through that, or you start to go through that, that's when you become authentic, that's when you start to stand in your power, and you become a lot more beneficial to yourself, to people around you, and to the world in general, which really, that's what male energy is about. You know, we're about purpose, we're about drive, we want to, you know, we want to go out and do things in the world, and we're operating at 50% best while we've got these issues deep buried within us. So have a think about that. I am doing psychotherapy sessions at the moment, so if you are interested, just pop me an email at tony@transcendingtimes.org. Like I say, I'm really passionate about this because it's something that I've been through the last year and a half. It had such a profound effect. You know, I wanted to learn how to do it. So if that does interest you, let me know. But anything you can do to look into that part of yourself is going to be worth it in the end, and it's not easy. So yeah, have a great weekend, and I'll speak to you all soon. Cheers, bye.